Hello, hello, hello. In today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about a 7-step marketing audit process that a business owner can do today. This will help you reduce waste in your marketing and increase commercial output of your marketing. There is a statistics that says that 54% of people working in marketing do not have a background in marketing. So there's a possibility that whoever is doing your marketing does not understand the importance of a marketing audit. But it's your job as a business owner to make sure that your marketing is audited at least once a year. The same principle that applies to accounting, where you have an accounting audit. An accounting audit is when you bring a neutral third-party firm to audit your account. It's to create trust with your stakeholders, shareholders, and everybody. You're bringing an accountant to audit your in-house account despite the fact that you have an accounting team. It's not a disrespect to your accounting team, but it's just to make sure that everything is working perfectly. The same principle applies to marketing, but the problem is a lot of marketing teams do not do marketing audits. The reason why, as I said earlier on, 54% of people working in marketing don't even have a marketing degree. So you have a lot of cowboys, and some of these cowboys or cowgirls have been in the industry for a long time, and it's difficult to know who is a good marketer and who is a bad marketer. But as a business owner, for you to know if your marketing is actually good and working, you need to do a marketing audit. So I'm going to be talking about 7 steps that you can do. Number 1, I'm going to talk about brand strategy, competitor analysis. I'm going to talk about SEO. I'm going to talk about paid advertising, Meta ads, and TikTok ads audit. I'm going to talk about content marketing and email marketing audit. I'm going to talk about Google Analytics GA4 audit. I'm going to talk about website conversion rate optimization and website funnels. I'm going to tell you how you're going to audit that. And I'm going to talk about your marketing team structure. Are they actually having the skills that you need? Because sometimes your marketing team can be the problem to your marketing. And as a business owner, it's difficult to know because you do not have a marketing background. But with the questions that I'm going to show you in this marketing audit, you will be able to know what good looks like. So I want you to grab a pen and a paper. Make sure you're seated and you're taking notes because this might be a little bit of a long episode, but it's really going to help you grow your business. So the first thing you need to audit is your brand strategy. I've worked in a lot of organizations, and if you ask 10 people what brand strategy is, you find 10 different answers. Some people think brand strategy is going to Canva, designing a logo, designing a color and a font, and that's your brand. Creating a brand guideline, that's a brand. Some people think branding goes deeper than that. Some people actually think branding is just people being aware of your product or service, that's a brand if they can remember you. But I like to tell you that brand is everything from the journey start to finish. What I mean by this is branding is how you position yourself to your customers. Before you can brand, you need to know who your ideal customer is. So as a business owner, the first question I want you to ask is, do you know who your ideal customer is? Do you have your customer persona defined? Do you have your customer archetypes defined? You have different positioning for each customer segment. So what I'm trying to tell you this is, take for example, a global car company. The brand perspective and the brand persona of Mercedes-Benz in the UK will be different to the US, will be different to Germany, will be different to China. These are different markets with different audiences. The same applies to a small business. You have different types of audiences. You have, say for example, if you have like a plumbing business, you have different types of audiences. You have people that are single that have a property. That's a different segment of audience. You have a family. You have people living in the town center. You have the super rich. All these customer segments are different segments. And the way you position your brand to all of them need to be different. If you do not do a brand audit, ask the question about your brand, you will not know if your branding is effective. So what I'm trying to say here is you have a situation where your brand on your physical leaflets, your receipts and your your offline marketing, or like your mugs. And if you have like a car, if you're a small business owner and you have like a company car, the branding on that and your website, you need to ask yourself the question, is the branding across all platform, online, offline, company, stationaries, and everything? Is the branding consistent? Is the branding on your video, text, everything across the board? Is the branding consistent? If the branding is not consistent, then you have a problem. How do you know you have a problem? Is when you ask the question, do you even have a brand tagline? Does your brand have a positioning? Does your brand have a mission statement? All these important things are important things you need to consider when you're looking at your marketing audit. And then you also need to look at the reputation of your brand. What is the perception of your new customer, your existing customer, your customers that have left you? One thing I want you to understand when you're looking at brand is look at it beyond a logo. Look at it as the experience and your personality. Do you have a personality when it comes to a brand? How would people describe you? Ask yourself that question as a business owner. What do people think about your brand? Not what you think they think about your brand. Ask yourself the question, do your team or has your organization ever done a survey to gather feedback about what customers think about you? These are the things you need to ask yourself. Do you have a documented survey output from people that you've asked, oh, what do you think about us? Oh, what's your experience with us? Oh, how do we compare to our competitor? So if your brand was to disappear today, will your customers miss you? These are questions you need to ask, because if you do not have a strong brand and your business disappears, your customers might just easily just go to your competitor and not even remember you. When you want to understand what a strong brand is, think about what happened when TikTok was potentially going to be banned in America. People were actually petrified because the experience that that brand gives them, they cannot find it somewhere else. That is what a brand is. So if you disappear today, will your customers miss you? If the answer is no, then your brand is not strong enough. You do not have a brand personality. That means maybe you're just competing on price. So first thing you need to ask yourself as a business owner is, do you have a documented brand logo, typography, distinctive brand assets? When you started your business, who designed your website? Who created your brand? If the answer is you went to Canva, or your nephew or your niece designed your brand, you don't really have a brand. You need to do an audit. And actually, sometimes you don't need to change whatever you have now, but you need to make sure that a brand strategy is developed around that and built from the ground up. That is the number one thing you need to do when you're doing a marketing audit, because your brand positioning will feed everything else in your business. So as a business owner, this is a 360 marketing audit. The next thing you need to look at is your competitor. When you're doing your marketing audit, you want to look at your competitor. What exactly are your competitors, direct and indirect? How many competitors do you have? And which of your competitor is the most powerful? And when I'm saying the most powerful, you need to ask the question, which of them is powerful for each product segment? Say if you have like a building company or a plumbing company, you need to look at your service and your product line and find out that, okay, I'm fixing boilers or fixing boilers. Which of my competitor is very strong with that? Which of my competitor is very strong with maybe fixing bathrooms and things like that? You need to make sure you understand for each product the power and the strength of each competitor. And you also want to know the weakness of those competitors. Which of those competitors are losing when it comes to maybe they're trying to go bankrupt? And if you have the finance, you might think, oh, do you need to just buy them out? Or do you just need to leave them to go bust and then you can just acquire their customer? The only way you can find out all this information is if you do regular marketing audits. And within that marketing audit, you need to do a competitor analysis. So that's very, very important. You also need to find out, okay, how are you ranking across platform, organic, AI, and all these different marketing channels? How are you ranking and performing compared to your competitors? These are important questions you need to ask. How much is your competitor spending on different marketing channels. Which marketing channel works for them? You do not need to reinvent the wheel. If you have a competitor that is doing really, really well, you want to do a competitor audit to find out what is working for them. If you find out what's working for them, you can then piggyback and then start copying or mirroring them or even doing it better. That's the importance of doing a marketing audit. You do a competitor audit to find what people are actually even saying about your competitor. If you go on review websites, you can find the negative things people are saying about your competitor. Then you know what to avoid. You know what angers customers. You can also look at what people are actually praising your competitors about. That would then inform you that, okay, I've gone on review websites, I've seen positive 5-star review about these things about my competitors. I think we can improve on this part. If we improve on this part, we'll get more market share. Talking about market share, you as a business owner, you need to understand the total addressable market, and you need to understand how much of that market you control and how much the other competitors control, and how you can increase your market share. And the good thing about market share is if your market is saturated, the best way for you to get market share is to take from your competitor. And when you do a competitor analysis through a competitor audit, you find out the things that your competitors are not doing well. You then improve on those things. And that's why some customers will leave those competitors and come to you. You cannot understand this strategy if you do not do a competitor audit. And for you to do a competitor audit, you need to do a marketing audit. A marketing audit is a 360 audit. It's like a health check. Everything gets checked, and then you find out, okay, this is working, this is not working, this we need to improve. So let's go into an SEO audit, which is also part of a marketing audit. A lot of organizations do their audits in silos. You see a lot of people say, oh, we did a Google Ads audit. Oh, we did an SEO audit. We did a CRO audit. Never a marketing audit. What you should be doing as a business owner is doing a unified audit, because all these channels work together. So let me tell you about the SEO audit. As a business owner, the first thing you want to try and understand is, how does your website rank compared to your competitors? What are the important pages on your website that rank better than your competitor? One thing you want to understand as a business owner is your website ranking might not be the same with your competitor. There will be pages within your website sometimes that will rank above your competitors, and there will be some pages on your competitors that will rank above you. So you need to actually look at your marketing in general from a commercial standpoint. Where are we making the most profit, and what kind of product or service do we actually want to focus on from an organic traffic acquisition perspective to get more traffic to improve our ranking and our commercial output? When was the last time you did an SEO audit? I'm talking about a marketing audit. Some organizations go 2 years without an audit. It's like driving a car for 2 years without an MOT. Would you do that? No. So as a business owner, as part of this marketing audit, you need to ask your team, or ask the question by your agency, when was the last time we did an audit? If they're not giving you the right answer, then you need to come to someone like myself. Hire me and I will do an end-to-end 360 marketing audit. One of the reasons why companies do only SEO audits and no other audits is because sometimes they're working with an agency or a consultant that only knows SEO alone. A marketing audit should include SEO, Google Ads, email marketing, conversion rate optimization, brand strategy. It's difficult to find an agency or a marketing professional that is T-shaped skill like myself to do this audits for you. But I'll tell you this for free. You need a detailed marketing audit. Now, let me go back to the SEO audit. You also need to ask the question about your technical audit. How does your website perform on mobile? Is your website loading fast? All these important questions. How does AI bots and all these AI crawlers access your website? Does your website have schema markups? Does it have all the technical stuff? I'm not going to bore you with any technical stuff, but you can request a copy of this marketing audit template. I'll send it to you. Contact me. If you're watching this on YouTube, just ping me a message, get my name, search for me online, ping me a message, and I'll send you a copy of this marketing audit template. And you can actually go through the audit template yourself and do an audit and get a diagnostic of your marketing. So the SEO audit is really, really important. You need to understand how your website is connected from a backlink perspective. This might sound technical to you as a business owner, but you have tools that can conduct an SEO audit for you automatically. You do not need to do it personally. Just put your website in. It will do an audit for you, and it will give you the list of all the problems on your website, and it will even tell you what to do in terms of fixing those problems. So don't let anybody bullshit you about about SEO audit. It's not as difficult as it sounds. So now let's go to one of the most important, Google Ads audits. Google Ads audits and SEO audits are always done in isolation, but the funny thing is both of them get traffic from the same interface. The only difference is Google Ads is higher up and SEO is underneath. So they should in actual fact work hand to hand. But I've seen most organizations do the audit separately. Again, this is why it's important to do a 360 marketing audit. Again, you need to hire me to help you do that. Again, you don't need to hire me long term. You can hire me for a week and I'll do all the audits, and the output of the audits will come with a recommendation on what you need to do. So with Google Ads, it's important to ask the questions. Are you actually running Google Ads that is fit for purpose? Is the Google Ads that you're running actually something that you control, or you give control to Google? What I mean by this is, do you actually have the right campaign setup? There's campaigns that is very automated where you just give Google the money and they do everything for you. It reduces your control. And if you do not have a good website, you're literally wasting money. And I've always said this, Google is in the business to make money. Whether you make money or not, Google doesn't care. So as a business owner, running a Google Ads audit is really, really important. Key question you want to ask yourself, do you have full access to your Google Ads, or is that something that an agency manage? If your agency is managing all the access and everything and you don't own everything internally, it's risky, because when you want to change that agency, you might run into a bit of a problem. But if you have everything controlled in-house and then you just give them access, that is the best way to go about it. But as a business owner, you will not know if this is happening if you do not do a marketing audit. That is why I mentioned earlier on that businesses hire an accounting auditor to come into the business, even when they have accountants in-house, to get a second unbiased opinion about the finances. The same thing is what I'm recommending to you as a business owner. Again, you can just hire me for a day or two to do your end-to-end marketing audit, and then I hand over that audit to you and the recommendations, and then you can then give those instructions to your marketing team. Do this, do that, do this based on the outcome of the audit. So your Google Ads audit, you also need to try and find out what kind of keywords are we targeting. As a business owner, I want you to understand that there are different types of keywords. There's a keyword type called broad match. So what you're literally doing here is you're bringing in as many people as possible. Broad, just bring in the crowd. Within those crowd, there's just going to be a little, very low percentage of people that are ready to buy. But Google doesn't care. You're going to pay for those people if you set up a broad match. But if you set up like a phrase match or exact match, you reduce the waste, you reduce the crowd, and you get just people that are actually interested in buying and very close to buying. And that's why your website needs to actually make them buy. It's one thing to get them from Google. It's another thing to get them to buy. You will not find out if you're using the wrong keyword type if you do not do a marketing audit. And again, within a marketing audit is the Google Ads audit. Then another thing you want to do is you want to make sure that those people that are window shoppers do not come to your website. In the real world, companies that have a physical location, they want window shoppers, because when there are a lot of window shoppers there, people walking by would actually walk in and they might buy. It doesn't cost you anything for window shoppers. It's different on the internet. A window shopper costs you online, because a window shopper that is browsing the internet and ready to buy, that clicks on a paid ad, comes to your website, doesn't do anything and just goes off, Google will still charge you for that. even though they're window shoppers. So the only way you can stop those window shoppers as a business owner is to make sure that there's something called negative keywords. You use that to filter them away. You don't want them on your website. So again, these are things that you would not find out if you do not do a marketing audit. Another thing I want to highlight is your tracking as well. When you're doing your Google Ads audit, you want to also ask the question, what does conversion look like? Are we tracking the right conversion? What exactly are we tracking? Is that conversion that we're tracking actually linked with commercial outcome, linked with revenue growth, linked with profit as well? You want to also ask the question, how much of the Google Ads are we wasting? See what answer you get. All these important questions happen when you do a marketing audit, a 360 marketing audit. And then you can then find out overlap between your SEO audit and your Google Ads audit. This happens in silos. The only way you can unify both Google Ads and SEO audit is through marketing audit. So the same applies to your Meta ad audit as well. It's part of your paid advertising audit. You want to make sure that, is the account set up properly? Do you have control of it? Do you have all the right tracking installed? Do you have conversion APIs configured? All these kind of things. Do you have like server-side tracking? All this question as a business owner sounds like technical stuff to you. It's not. Again, contact me and I'll send you a template, a copy of this marketing audit template. You can share it with your team. You can say, okay, I got this marketing audit template. I want you to go through everything and give me a presentation on the state of our marketing. That's if you want to do it yourself, or you can hire me to come and audit your marketing and run through all this list of checklists that needs to make sure that your campaign is structured properly, the messaging that you're targeting is, the messaging you're creating is done properly, and the attribution that you're getting is actually done properly. You see, when it comes to Meta ads, you need to understand that for some sectors, Meta is the most effective way to reach your audience. Not everybody is on LinkedIn. As much as people make you believe that, LinkedIn is the best B2B, blah, blah, blah. Not every customer that you're looking for is on LinkedIn. I have had customers find me through YouTube. By watching a video, they just contacted me and we just worked together. As a coach, I coach the business owner, trained him up on marketing, because that's another thing you need as a business owner. If you do not need a marketing team, you have the opportunity to work with a marketing consultant and coach like myself. I would teach you everything you need to know about how to do this marketing audit yourself, up to a level that you would not need me anymore. I've worked with business owners in the past where I trained them up and empowered them with the knowledge that they need. And at the end of the day, they don't need me anymore. Going back to Facebook ad, you want to make sure you ask the question that, okay, do we have the right ads when it comes to creative? Facebook is really, really the best when it comes to targeting, when it comes to actually profiling and targeting the customer, location targeting, all those good stuff. But you need to make sure that you're feeding it the right creative. If you just feed it just the same creative, Facebook will get bored and like, okay, I'm tired of this. Even the customers will get bored and your ads will stop working. So when you're doing a Meta ads audit as a business owner, you need to ask that important question. Do we have enough creative to feed Facebook? The reason why I'm talking about creative is because your customers have segments. You have different personas and different profiles within your customer base. Whilst you have an ideal customer profile, you also have personas within those profiles. Facebook requires you to have creative assets for all these personas. That is why it's important that you do that. So another thing I want to talk about now is content marketing audit. Do you have a documented content marketing plan? A lot of organizations do marketing without a content marketing plan. They don't have a content calendar. I have a list of like 40, 50 topics that I'm going to record for the rest of the year. That is what a content plan is. I know what type of videos I want to record, what podcasts I want to record. I have even structured the content to target LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, and podcasts. And YouTube, do you have a documented content marketing plan? You will not ask this question if you do not do a marketing audit. So as part of the questions you need to ask again is, who exactly is creating content for your business? You'll be surprised. Some people, as a business owner, you're the one creating the content. How are you going to do the work of running a business and then separate yourself again and start creating content? That's where work-life balance problem comes in. Are you outsourcing your content? If you're doing that, maybe the people that are creating the content are just using AI tools to generate content for you. That's a recipe for disaster. You can use AI tool to research topics and find out gaps within topics, but you surely would not use AI to create the content. A good example is this podcast that I'm recording. This is my natural experience and knowledge that I'm sharing and my perspective. And I'll then use this content, use the transcript to create a blog post, an article, and then I'll break it down into shorts, put it on different social media. That is authentic content. But as a business owner, you are a subject matter expert, but you might not have that skill and capability to create those content. The question I'm asking is, who is creating content in your business? Is the person a subject matter expert, or is the person just using AI tool to create content? What type of content are you creating? You have video, text, and image. A lot of people just default into text content. They're scared of the camera. They don't think they need to create video content. That's why video content is the best, but people don't have sometimes even the equipment to do that. So as a business owner, I'm asking you, what kind of content are you creating? What is the cadence of the content? How are you measuring the effectiveness of the content that you're creating? All these questions are important because content is the foundation that you can then use paid advertising to push for sales. Let me give you another example. You have transactional content that talks about your product or service in the tone for people that are ready to buy, to just buy quickly. That content is part of your content strategy. If you do not have an effective content strategy, whoever creates that content will create it not in an effective way. And once you start spending money to get traffic to that content, you're wasting money because the foundation of your content is not really done properly. So ask yourself the question, how are you producing content? How are you distributing content? What is the effectiveness of the content? And how visible is the content across platforms? Very, very important. Content also links with email marketing because email marketing is a very, very cost-effective channel. And some business owners don't even know how it works. Let me just give you a top level understanding of how email marketing works. People can land on your website, browse around. You can tell them, subscribe to our email newsletter. You capture their email. If they're already your customer, your email database can match the email. If they're an existing customer, don't send them any welcome email. If they're not an existing customer and they're new, you can create a series of email. They call it email sequence. A few hours after they give you their email, you send them a welcome email. You tell them about your organization. Very short, straight to the point. After that, you send another email. Again, you don't have to send this manually. These are automated. So those sequence will then nudge them, give them enough information about your organization, your brand, and they now have memory about you. You've created a relationship. And sometimes that email will also have links to your website. So it will also bring them back to your website. That is called a welcome email. Another email type is when someone starts maybe requesting a quote or filling out a lead generation form or trying to buy something from your e-commerce store and they just fall off. Some people will just spend a lot of money on retargeting. That's expensive. Another option for you to nudge them back is through email. They call it cart abandonment email. It brings them back. Come back. You've not purchased. You bring them back through email. Again, that's an automated sequence. Maybe 30 minutes after they didn't complete the action, the conversion action, you send them an email and you just pepper them with email for the next 3 days. And a large percentage of the time they come back and they make the purchase. So as a business owner, you want to ask that important question. Do you have an email list? How big is your email list? How regularly do you clean up your email list? Because your email can easily become ineffective or dangerous to your marketing if done the wrong way. That's why you need to actually do a marketing audit. An email marketing audit is part of that audit. You want to make sure that, okay, how are we even tracking the performance of the email? How does email contribute and support other marketing channels? So now let's go to the Google Analytics audit. This is a tongue twister because a lot of business owners do not know how to look at Google Analytics data. It's scary. They just don't know anything about it. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, do you even have Google Analytics installed correctly? Because I've seen situations where the Google Analytics is not installed correctly. That means all the data that you're getting from your Google Ads conversions and performance, your meta ads and all these things are not actually the right data. So you're using wrong data to judge your marketing spend. So as a business owner, you need to ask your team, or you need to do an audit, again, hiring me to help you do a 360 marketing audit to look at, okay, the Google Analytics setup, is it set up properly to comply with privacy policy, GDPR, and all those important stuff? Is it actually server-side installation? Again, this is technical for business owners, but what I'm trying to say here is there are different ways to implement and install Google Analytics. If you do not have it done the right way, all the reports that they're showing you, everything is just out the window because it's bad data. The same also applies to quantitative and qualitative insights. Qualitative, like heat map, session replay, Microsoft Clarity. These are all technical terms, but what I'm trying to tell you is the reporting decision that you make about your business from the information you get from Google Analytics is all dependent on making sure the information is pure, clean. I've worked with large organizations that didn't have good Google Analytics installations, and they spent a lot of money on campaigns and they're just shooting blind. That you do not want to do as a business owner because you cannot afford to waste money. So conversion rate optimization is your website. The problem with websites is most of the time when you start a business, you just hire a developer, just build me a website, they build you the website, or you just get your nephew that is a web developer or your niece, design a website for me. You design and created that website at the early stage of your business, and sometimes you hardly change the website. What I'm trying to say to you as a business owner is there's a very, very high chance that your website is not actually designed for conversion in mind, because the people that put content on your website, the content writers is different from your web developer. The people doing Google Ads don't have a clue about how a website works. Some of them don't even touch the website. They just do Google Ads. Some of the people doing SEO know how to put the right keywords and everything. Some of them, in some instances, don't have technical SEO background. And even the ones that have technical SEO background do not have landing page optimization and CRO background. Again, that's a whole lot of stakeholders designing a website. And sometimes your baby is ugly. The website is not very, very pretty. So as a business owner, you want to make sure that your website is optimized for conversion. Ask yourself the question, what exactly is the conversion rate of your website currently? What does your funnel look like? Do people go through the funnel? Is the percentage of people that land on your website, what's the number compared to the people that actually request a quote or fill out a form? So say, for example, if 2,000 people are landing on your website and you're only getting 2,000 people per week, for example, and you're only getting like 3-4 leads, that means 1,997 people did not convert. So that's the importance. So there's something called a conversion rates optimization and UX audit. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but again, you can request this marketing audit checklist. I'll send it to you, or you can request a 30-minute session and I can run through the marketing audit with you to make sure that you are actually getting the best from your marketing. Run this marketing audit today. Contact me and I'll give you a copy of this checklist. So another thing we want to look at is your marketing technology. Again, you want to ask all the right questions about, do we actually have all the tools that we need? There's different advancements in technology. You can actually set up automation tools that if customers contact you, an AI tool can pick up the call and kind of complete the booking and take the quote and all those kind of things. So as a business owner, you need to ask questions about what can technology do to you or do for you. Some organizations will just hire a bunch of marketers, 5, 6, and then you have a head of marketing that is happy. He or she is happy that, I have a team of 6 people. But as a business owner, I'll tell you for free, do you really need a 6-person marketing team when you can actually hire one person that would automate all the rest of the activity, and you will get instant results using tools like Claude. A few years ago, I used to run around looking for a web developer to help me tweak my website. I'll tell you for free, I would never hire a developer again because I don't need one. So, and there's some other little tasks that marketing automation, marketing technology, especially with AI tools, can help you automate. And when I'm saying AI tool, I'm not talking about using AI tool to create content. No, I'm talking about using AI tool to do repetitive marketing tasks. It becomes really, really, really easy. So let's now talk about your marketing team. As a business owner, when your business is starting up, you can actually do without a marketing team. To be fair, you can actually first just hire a T-shaped marketer. What I mean by a T-shaped marketer is a marketer like myself, info plug, that does SEO, Google Ads, content marketing, conversion rate optimization. I am a marketer. It's not jack of all trade, master of none. Nothing like that. I'm a T-shaped marketer that has more than 16 years of experience. Before that, I've had experience working in other sectors. And that is why you hire someone that has worked with huge brands. I've worked with Deloitte, I've worked with Harrods, I've worked with Nationwide, I've worked with Hastings, I've worked with a lot of large organizations across different sectors. I've worked with pharmaceutical, retail, financial service, banks, medical, the government, all the lot. So as a small business owner, you're getting premium marketing skill on your small business, and it's going to give you that premium service. So what I would recommend to you is book a coaching session with me or book a consulting section. I will run through this marketing audit, and we would audit your marketing the same way you audit your account by hiring an accounting auditor. That's the same way this marketing would do for you. It will identify waste. It will identify areas you need to focus on. And it's all focused on increasing revenue and profit margins. My name is Femi Olajiga. I would recommend, if you want to try this marketing audit, I have a link on the show notes. It will take you to my website where you can actually just fill out the marketing audit. You can actually get like an interactive marketing audit where you can just do the audit and you get the result of how your marketing is performing. It's a yes or no answer questionnaire on my website. You can go there. And if you want a copy of the marketing audit template, it's a 360 marketing audit. Connect with me on LinkedIn, send me an email. Again, you can get a link in the show notes in the description on how to contact me. And I'll really, really love to help you. My name is Femi Olajiga. I'm a growth marketing consultant, and I also do fractional CMO for small businesses. So if you're looking to hire a senior marketer that will do your strategy and also do the execution using automation tools, I'm your guy. I work with clients in America, the UK, everywhere in the world. Just reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye.